Hey guys, welcome back to The Bright Side. Macy here, the Bright Side Girl, and today I'm going to be sharing some recommendation books for kingdoms set at sea. I've got my official mermaid crown on for you guys to share some of these recommendations. So Kingdom Set at Sea is a reading challenge for Mermaid Marathon, my mermaid pirate ocean themed readathon that is running July 1st through July 14th. I will link the announcement video as well as all of the information for it down below in the card. Since this is one of the reading challenges, I wanted to come in and give you guys some recommendations for kingdoms set at sea. So this can be a kingdom that is on an island, by the coast, or actually in an ocean. Some of these are mermaids, some of these are pirates, some of these are neither, so hopefully this will give you some good recommendations for your TBR, and we're just gonna dive right in. Alright, so we have Prince of Sea and Song by Lindsay Miller. This is actually first in the series. I believe they're all standalones. This is a newer Disney Prince series where we're getting the perspective of the Disney movie from the Disney Prince, and this one is based on Eric from The Little Mermaid. This was really good, and it was different than I expected. Some of the Disney-based books have not been my favorite, but this one was really well written. It had a lot to do with the original plot, but also like added a bunch of other things to the story. It was a little bit more piratey and adventurous. I really liked getting Prince Eric's perspective as well, and this is one that I highly recommend. All the Stars and Teeth by Adalyn Grace. This is part of Young Adult Duology. In this one we have Amora, and she is the princess of an island kingdom. All of her life she has been training to be High Animancer, which is the master of souls. They have this ceremony where she has to be able to prove that she can control her magic, but the ceremony goes awry and she is forced to flee with this mysterious pirate named Bastion. I really enjoyed this first book. I didn't really love the second book, but I really liked this one, and it's very ocean heavy, set on an island, pirates, there is a mermaid in here, and it's just a really good like ocean adventure. Next we have The Mermaid's Song. I have the ex-library sticker that I need to get off of here still. So this one I have mixed feelings about. This isn't part of a young adult indie mermaid series. First of all, the covers are really beautiful. I listened to this one via Hoopla a couple years ago. So we're following Mara, and she has been pretending to be human, and her uncle died. This means that her father will become the king of their undersea kingdom and she must return home. She gets sent immediately to the Dark Sea Academy. So this one has like an underwater mermaid kingdom and a school. My problem with this one is that the atmosphere and the ocean elements were not very heavy. It really just kind of felt like a regular contemporary high school book with a few magical elements in here. There are some like mentions of oceany things, but not as much as I wanted. However, the ending of this one was really good, and it is very short, so if you are a true mermaid lover and you want to check out all the mermaid books, I still recommend this one. Of Poseidon by Anna Banks. This is one I need to reread because I have not read it since like the first time I read it like 7 years ago. I really enjoyed this full trilogy though. It's one of the best like full mermaid like OG trilogies. So we have Galen, and he is the prince of Serena, and he is sent to land to find a girl that he has heard can communicate with fish. Emma is just vacationing on land when she runs into Galen, and they have an immediate connection. So we have this prince from this undersea kingdom, this mysterious girl on land. I just thought this was really fun. A great under the sea kingdom, so we're partially on land and partially not, and just a really fun adventure. This one might be my favorite underwater kingdom, underwater book. So we have Deep Blue by Jennifer Donnelly. This is part of a young adult quartet. This is in my top 10 like favorite mermaid series and books. This is a full underwater kingdom. We are in the water, we are in the ocean, almost the entire series. It is so adventurous. It reads kind of like a Disney movie. It's just very fun. There's a large cast of characters. There's a cute pet octopus in here. There's stuff to do with witches and pirates, and it's so good. So Seraphina is the daughter of Queen Maramara, and she has been raised with the expectation that she will someday rule over all of the ancient civilization of Merfolk. On the eve of her Dokemi ceremony, which will determine whether she is worthy of her crown, Sarah is haunted by a strange dream that foretells the coming of an ancient evil. It's just such a grand adventure, and if you're looking for books that are set mostly underwater, this whole series is great for that. Next we have Breakwater by Catherine Payne Jones, another young adult indie series. I've read the first one. I really need to read the next two because I really enjoyed this one. So Jade is the daughter of one of the Mer King's most trusted advisors, and she has great responsibilities. But when her fiance murders a naiad, plunging the underwater city of Thessalonik into an uproar, tensions surge between the naiads and the mermaids. This is very cool. It talks about the different classes and things in here. Our main character has a pet dolphin that you can see on the cover that's really, really fun. It's just a really interesting young adult mermaid series. Again, set mostly under the water, and I really liked this first book. Beneath the Haunting Sea by Joanna Ruth Meyer. This one technically is not about mermaids, but they're kind of mentioned in here as well. So we have 16-year-old Talia, and she is destined to become the empress of over half the world. But when an ambitious rival seizes power, her and her mother are banished to a nowhere province at the edge of the Northern Sea. So you're following her and her mother as they're on this boat to this journey to this other part of the world. This has a very heavy fairy tale vibe, very like whimsical, mysterious atmosphere to it. There's a lot going on. There's a sweet little romance in here. A lot of whimsy. So if you love those kinds of reads, I would check this one out. There is a second book as well. It follows a different character from here, so it's a little bit of a standalone, but they do kind of tie together. Undertow by Michael Buckley. This is one I constantly recommend because it's just so unique. Another young adult trilogy, another action-packed, very fun, very adventurous. This one kind of reads like an Avengers movie, almost like a post-apocalyptic type setting. We're following Lyric, and she has witnessed the arrival of the Alpha, which is basically like an underwater civilization. We're set on Coney Island. At first, the Alpha kind of bring wonder and fascination, but then it kind of turns to fear and paranoia. Coney Island kind of turns into a military zone. Lyric is kind of thrust into the mix of this when the Alphas are forced into her high school, and she is recruited to help the Crown Prince. So this one is just so good. It takes unexpected twists and turns. I really loved each book in the trilogy, especially this first one here. And not technically mermaids, but they're kind of like underwater creatures. It's set on Coney Island. We're following this Alpha Prince, and it's really good. Again, kind of like a Marvel Avengers type movie. We have Dark Tides by J.J. Marshall. This is actually written by a dear friend of mine. With the unexpected death of the Siren King, Princess Serena finds herself next in line for the Adrenaline Crystal Throne. But with a new ruler comes a new agenda. Betrothal to the Land King's son was not what Serena had in mind for herself, and now she must find a way to live without her vicious instincts. So we've got a like siren mermaid kind of combo in here. This one's considered the first in a new adult fairy tale retelling series, and this one is a loose Little Mermaid retelling. Next we have Forgive My Fins by Tara Lynn's Child. This one's first in a young adult trilogy. I will say it reads a little bit more middle grade, even though the characters are older, but I absolutely loved it. It's so fun and cheesy and cute. If you like those kind of cheesy mermaid movies and shows from the 2000s, I think you'll really enjoy this one. Very silly and fun, but the romance is so adorable in this one. So we're following Lily, and she is half human, half mermaid. She is attending high school, and she is also a Thalassian princess. When years ago she found out that her mother was human, she decided she wanted to learn more about herself and live her life on land. She has this huge crush on Brody, who's like the high school quarterback popular kid, but the problem is that when mermaids bond, they bond for life. This kind of creates a whole drama and involves like her entire kingdom, and it is such a good series. It's really cute. It's got such a sweet little romance in here, and just kind of a comfort read for me. Next, House of Salt and Sorrows by Erin A. Craig, one I constantly recommend. This is the first in a young adult kind of spooky series. This is a retelling of 12 Dancing Princesses, but we are set at sea. I don't believe that the girls in here are actually princesses. I could be wrong, but we're going to count it anyway because I want you to read it. So far we've had 2 books, and one follows one sister and one follows the next. I'm not sure how many we're going to get. This one has some spooky, darker elements to it that I really loved. So Annalee lives a sheltered life on Highmoor, their manor by the sea, with her sisters, their father, and her stepmother. Once there were 12, but now loneliness fills the halls since 4 girls' lives have been cut short. Each death more tragic than the last. A plague, a plummeting fall, a drowning, and a slippery plunge. And there are rumors throughout the village that her family has been cursed by the gods. Such a good one. The second book might be even better. The ending of these is fantastic. It has all those like ocean elements that you want. No mermaids in here, but we still get those like ocean elements. Such a good one that I constantly recommend. The Vicious Deep by Zoraida Cordova. This again, first in a young adult trilogy. This one is very cool because we're following a mer boy. Again, this one reads a little bit more action-packed. Again, it reads on the younger side of YA, like almost middle grade, a little bit more on the silly side, a little bit more like very, very adventurous. So we're following Tristan, who lives on Coney Island. He is a lifeguard. One day he goes out to help someone, and he gets sucked into the waves and kind of thrown back on shore with no memory of what happened. But his dreams are now plagued with visions of a silver mermaid with razor-like teeth. How can he explain that he has a sense of emotion he's never had before, and that he is now the heir to an underwater kingdom? Great. The Mermaid by Carolyn Turgeon. This is a young adult Little Mermaid retelling. This is the closest retelling that I have found to the original story, but still very unique and very much about like sisterly bonds. We do have a romance in here, but the friendship is more of the focus. So we have Princess Margaret, and she has been hidden away while her kingdom is at war. One gloomy windswept day, she witnesses a miracle, a glimmering mermaid beneath the waves, coming up with a drowned man in her arms. But when Margaret makes it to the edge of the shore, the mermaid is gone and she begins to nurse the man back to health. Again, following that Little Mermaid plotline, we've got a princess by the sea. It's just really great. Next, we have The Sea Witch by Sarah Henning. This is part of a young adult duology. This is supposed to be a backstory on Ursula. This one does not have a lot of the mermaid ocean elements. We are set by the sea. It's really a backstory on her life, and we're following these two girls. Our main character's best friend Anna has drowned, and she is this outcast in this small fishing village. Evie witnesses this new girl arrive that very much resembles her best friend, and she's kind of convinced that maybe Anna didn't drown after all. The two girls catch the eyes and the hearts of two charming princes, and Evie believes she might have the chance at her own happily ever after. This one has witchy goodness in here. We're set on this shoreline, so we have the good like ocean elements, but we don't have like a lot of talk of mermaids and things. The second book has more of that, but this one is so good. It's young adult. This one is really good though. The writing is amazing. The audiobook in particular was so good. The narrator like really sucks you in. It's one of my favorite books ever. All right, lastly, I want to recommend The Beholder by Anna Bright, because I'm going to push this book on you until you guys read it. So this one was pitched as The Bachelor set at sea. We have like this royal girl who is like set out on a journey to go and find a betrothed for herself. She takes this boat, she goes to these different like island towns and ocean towns to be courted, and so you're meeting all these different people. I thought that was enough. I was very into that, like going on multiple dates and all that kind of stuff, and I was here for a good time, but this one is so well done. It just has a lot of meaning and things behind it. We're dealing with politics and war, like nothing too intense, but it had a lot of like heart in it. And the second book in particular, especially the ending, like, oh, it just gripped me. It is such a well done duology, and I'm constantly recommending it. I loved it so much, and this is perfect for the Kingdom at Sea because our main character is basically like a royal heir, and they're on this boat and they're traveling these different places. It's so good. I can't recommend it enough. Okay, you guys, I'm sure I've read more than this, but this is all I'm going to share with you for today. Let me know if any of these piqued your interest down below in the comments. Let me know your favorite Kingdom set at sea book. If you're excited about the readathon, whether you're going to be a mermaid or a pirate. Don't forget to check out my other videos I've been posting recently as well, all themed around like oceans and pirates and boats. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at The Bright Side Girl if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys next time on The Bright Side.